Hello Australia, welcome to another Big Couch. What's coming up on the show today? Episode 764. We have got Bailey Perry. She's only 17. She's got a couple of original songs. Can't wait to introduce you to her again. What's streaming with Paul Elwyn? He's got all the shows that you should be watching on all the streaming devices. Talking school holidays at Red Zoo. We talked to Ranger Red today. Made on the left. Christmas markets are coming up very soon. We'll tell you about them. Talking entertainment with Alexander Sacosta. He's coming in today. And bitchin', as usual, with Ted, Jen and Sharon. Hope you can stick around. 764 starts now.
It's showtime on the couch. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can watch it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred and the best in town. You can see it from your house. Oh, it's showtime on the couch.
Hello Australia, welcome to another episode of The Couch, wherever you might be watching us, and welcome to our good friends in the whole of Queensland on Wide Bay TV, ITV they call it. Thank you, you're welcome, and as well welcome back to our C31 viewers in Melbourne, and of course C44 in Adelaide, and everywhere else in this whole big world on Foxtel Channel 173 on Aurora. Thank you for your company, I hope you enjoy The Couch, and thank you for joining us in Queensland as well. Let's get straight into the show. Paul Elwyn knows everything about movies and streaming. He watches so much TV.
Yeah, it's
Welcome back.
Thanks, Fred. Well, today is all about streaming. There's so much exciting stuff. Not so much like comedy stuff. This one's like more dramas and thrillers and
Why do you
crazy
reckon there is so much of that?
It's that time of year. It's so weird. The start of the year, like it's sort of the I don't know, American winter, and they want more action and fun and comedy. And this time it's sort of colder in the US, and so we end up getting those kind of shows, I guess. It's just the pattern of things.
And I guess Christmas coming up very soon. People are at home. People are spending more time at home.
Well, then that's the family time. That's when all the family shows will start to come
How
up.
hard is it as a family to know what you're going to watch, I guess?
I think the good thing is there's a lot of stuff to watch, and I've actually got like
Okay.
a family one in here, but we've got to get through the scary stuff
Let's
first.
start with the Continental.
Well, let's go. The Continental, more so known as the Continental from the world of John Wick. This is an extension of the whole John Wick universe, which we recently finished up with John Wick 4. This is the Continental Hotel is the glamorous hotel which facilitates all of the assassins in the John Wick universe. This is the story of during the 70s. It's 3 movie-length episodes, which is kind of a different formula to the series. This is on Amazon Prime. You can watch all of it pretty much soon. The last episode's coming up soon, and this is actually taking you back almost about 50 years into the 70s. This is actually the origin of the current hotel caretaker, Winston, who was a cool character in the John Wick movies. And the previous caretaker is actually played by, they managed to reel in Mel Gibson. He's not playing a huge role, but he is in this.
Bit of a cameo.
Yeah. And also Ben Dobson plays the actual role of Winston. So you'll see a few... Ben Dobson plays one of the main characters, not Winston.
Yep.
He was actually in a previous series, Kingdom, Animal Kingdom.
Yes.
So in this one, yeah, it's a lot of action. It's 70s kind of style to
Jackie
it.
Weaver was in Animal Kingdom as
Yeah,
well.
she was. She was. Yeah, amazing.
Brilliant.
In it. So that one is the Continental. It's streaming right now on Amazon Prime.
All right, what else we got?
Well, this one's huge. I think this is probably one of the biggest ones from Netflix, and a lot of people are enjoying it. It's getting very high ratings. Based off the manga by Ichiro Oda, who this got translated into also a huge animation. There's about 1,000 episodes that you can watch of the animated one. But this one is 8 episodes. Each episode's around an hour. This is One Piece. The One Piece is the huge treasure that they all have to find. Our main character is Monkey D. Luffy. He's a wannabe sailor pirate, and what happens is essentially before he dies, Gold Roger, the world famous pirate, says, well, the One Piece is the biggest treasure ever, and anyone who finds it will be the king of the pirates, and when I die, you can all go and find it. All of a sudden, a huge furor. This is in like an alternate world where pirates still exist and they're huge. And yeah, One Piece is the actual treasure, and Monkey is our main character who he eats a magical fruit and he gains crazy powers, which turns him basically into Elastic Man.
That happens.
This is a huge swashbuckling adventure, and everyone's loving it. It's just a lot of fun. So if you like pirates and anime, or just cool adventure for the
One
family. This
Piece.
is One Piece. It's very big. It's on Netflix.
Now, I'm glad you picked things that are very easy to pronounce. How do you pronounce that next one?
This one just say Ahsoka. That's it. Ahsoka Tano is the
Ahsoka.
main character in this Disney Plus, which is, of course, Star Wars. Ahsoka
Yep.
Tano is a former Jedi, and she is investigating a new sort of evil force in the galaxy. This one's doing quite well. It's kind of on the same level as Mandalorian, in that sort of same universe and that same timeline. 8 episodes at the moment. It also features the late Ray Stevenson, who plays Boiler Skull, who's one of the main bad guys. He's in this for the whole thing. Unfortunately, he passed away shortly after
Correct.
filming. Also, Natasha Lynn plays fan favourite Sabine. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who's married to Ewan McGregor, who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi. She's here as Hera Syndulla. Pretty cool. You get to see Grand Admiral Thrawn, who's like the blue face guy in this one. He's a bit later on. Spoiler alert. Sorry about that. Looks cool. Great action. Lots of cool things happening in Ahsoka. This is currently on Disney Plus, so this is your Star Wars fix. Fans of The Mandalorian will like this one. It's kind of on the similar level with the action and the characters to it.
Beautiful.
But, Rosario Dawson plays Ahsoka. She does an amazing job. Everyone loves it.
Thank you very much. And
Yeah.
Wilderness, not Wilderness.
Yeah, so this one's more of a thriller, drama, kind of crime thing. Wilderness, this is a whole new kind of story. 6 episodes. This is on Binge, slash Foxtel. Jenna Coleman from Doctor Who. She's part of a lovely UK married couple who are living in New York, and they're living the sort of young, fun lifestyle. The world is their oyster, that sort of thing. Her husband has an affair, and all of a sudden, a lot of crazy thoughts go into her head about what's going on with their whole relationship and everything around them. And some strange thoughts come up when he suggests going on a camping trip around the US. The whole thing, let's go all around this lovely country. And she starts coming up with her, the whole deep thought thing. We're standing on a cliff edge here and he's in front of me.
He's going to push me. Yes,
So
that hasn't
part of it
happened.
is her sort of imagining it, but part of it is you sort of working out, oh, wait, I think she actually did these things and what's happening. And also Ashley Benson from Pretty Little Liars is also in this as the other person that was involved in the affair. But kind of cool. A bit of a thriller, and you get to see the American wilderness as well.
And that's on Amazon
Amazon Prime, yeah.
Now, Hijack on Apple TV.
So Hijack, after you've watched the Liam Neeson action movies, you've got to see like some more, kind of action flicks. And we have Idris Elba. He's amazing. I mean, his voice is amazing when you hear him, because like in The Lion King, that sort of thing. It's great. He's on a flight from Dubai to London. You get to find out, because he's got family and everything. You don't really find out too much about his background or anything. But what happens is during this flight, every episode's roughly about an hour, and all up, it's roughly about 6 episodes. So the flight is about 7 hours. So it does feel like it's kind of in real time how it's all occurring. The tension slowly builds up. It's not heaps of action, but it's a lot of tension and thrills.
A lot of thinking action.
Yeah, and you're trying to piece together what's going on with his background and his family, but also they're trying to work out what's going on with the hijackers and what they're doing. This huge situation. Yeah, very cool characters playing the pilot and everything in this one. But Idris Elba, Apple TV, it's Hijack. You can binge watch the whole thing and enjoy the flight, really. It's
The Walking
good.
Dead are back.
Yes, The Walking Dead. There's several offshoots of The Walking Dead, but this one is huge because actor Norman Reedus is reprising
Horror Story.
American Horror Story. This is the 12th season of the show. It's been
believe
going
it's
on
been
for
running.
more than 10 years. This one is a new one called Delicate. What it is, it's kind of another side story. As far as I can see, there's no real connections to the previous story, so this is standing out on its own. The huge thing is Kim Kardashian is in this, and she plays the manager to an actress played by Emma Roberts. And what's happening is she's having trouble trying to start a family, so she goes through IVF. All of a sudden, weird things happen. She's also using quite a few pharmaceuticals to help her with various mental issues. But then she's going, is it the drugs, or is something weird happening to me? I'm having a kid. Is this my kid? All of these weird things happening. Kim Kardashian plays a pretty cool character. She plays it like Hollywood, straight up. She's a manager. She's very serious in this one. She seems to be taking this role seriously. It looks interesting. Everyone's going, is this
On Binge.
Is this the comeback for American Horror Stories? Because there was a few previous seasons which weren't that great. But you can start watching all of this. It's a 12-episode season.
And finally, let's have a look at your pick for this
My
season.
pick, because we've had so much drama and everything in this. Let's just have some family fun. Adventure Time, Fiona and Cake. So in the original Adventure Time with Jake the dog and Finn the human, there was a variation in the whole multiverse where there was a female version of him, and instead of a dog it was a cat. So this is that whole multiverse adventure. It goes for 10 episodes. My favourite thing is the original voice of SpongeBob SquarePants. Tom Kenny is the voice of the Ice King when he was human, Simon Petrovic, and it's a lot of fun for the family. But adults will love this just because there is some sort of adult references to general, life itself. It's a lot of fun, and it's Fiona and Cake.
Fantastic, Paul. I've just about tied up the next 4 months.
Yes, there's
Thank
heaps
you.
of episodes.
They all
there.
look good.
Yeah, they all look a lot of
Fantastic.
fun, and there's so many episodes for everybody. You'll enjoy it.
Thank you to Paul Elwin. We'll see you in a couple of weeks with movies on the show. Paul Elwin, of course, talking streaming. We're going to take a break on the couch all around Australia. And after the break, we talk about Red Zoo and also Made on the Left Christmas markets that are coming up. Nisha joins us as well. We'll see you there. Welcome back to the couch. Always nice to have your company. Nisha actually brought me this toy back from Singapore. A little story in that. I won't tell you because it takes too long. Nisha, welcome back. You've got Ranger Red and Rena from Red Zoo to talk to. Over to you.
I do. Thank you so much, Fred. Great to be back. And I have a great first interview with Ranger Red and Rena. Welcome to the couch.
Thanks, Nisha, and it's glad to be back. We've just come from the Perth Royal Show, which is very tiring. First week of school holidays. We're about to go into the second week of school holidays. But at the zoo, it's not all about me. We also have a range of staff that have different roles, and we're really lucky to have been able to get Rena, who's here backpacking and needed somewhere to do her 88 days, and we've signed her up for the adventure of a lifetime.
Wow, 88 days at Red Zoo. That's very exciting, Rena.
Yeah, so I completely stumbled across this. Like my career now was doing childhood entertainment, and I also do graphic design freelancing. But when I was younger, it was always like a dream to work as a zoo. And yeah, I'm living my childhood dream and doing my work that I need for my visa as well. So it's win-win to stay in Australia.
Fantastic. And it shows a diversity of staff at the zoo, doesn't it, Ranger Ed?
Yep. I think WA tourism has suffered a little bit, and I guess offering different types of tourism ventures. And even though Rena's working, we're offering her a tourism adventure of a lifetime, and that's having a short period of being a zookeeper before she goes on to her other adventures. So I think it's something that could be really unique for Western Australia in getting out our G'day WA message.
Yeah, and for those that haven't been to Red Zoo, it's in Pinjarra here in Western Australia. Tell us a bit about the zoo.
So obviously we're what you'd call a small boutique zoo. We're hoping to make that change very soon, but we're very hands-on. So you can do koala encounters, glider encounters, dingo encounters, or if you have young children, you can even send them off to us, and someone like Rena will babysit them from 10 till 3 and make them a junior zookeeper.
I can already hear some of the parents out there going, yay! So tell us about your background, Rena, because being a child entertainer as well as graphic design, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I started off, my early career was doing the childhood entertainment. I'd do loads of kids' parties. I was also very creative, so I'd do a lot of art. So I went into face painting. So I just really fell into this career, and I loved working with children. Then university came, and I started doing a graphic design degree. So it was the best of both worlds. And coming into this, I've just missed working with kids and being in a really social environment and working with animals as well. They're quite similar, kids and animals.
Kids and animals, wow, yes.
It's natural.
We do say that on the couch as well when we have kids or animals. It's always interesting.
Yeah.
So what have you liked the best about the zoo at the moment? What have you been doing and what have you been enjoying?
So far we offer the zoo to use. I've been doing quite a few with them, with the other keepers, and I just love going out there and educating people about the animals, showing them off. We take the same animals out, and it's really fun people coming up to them and educating them. And we take one of the tawnies out, and everyone thinks he's a statue half the time. So they'll come over and they can be like, oh, can I pat them? And it's just getting people over the fears as well and phobias. It's interesting. Some people hate the lizards, and then they'll love them afterwards. So it's great to see the different interactions with people.
Yeah, and we always, obviously you're a regular Ranger Ed,
Yes.
and you always have so many different things happening at the zoo.
Yes, we
and
do.
I
We
even
do.
heard today that you do camping at the zoo.
Yeah, so while we were driving down to the studio today, Rena was talking about her backpacker groups, and I was saying, do any of them realise that they can actually have a camping experience at the zoo, which is when a lot of the animals are extremely active, and imagine being able to go back home to wherever you come from and say you stayed at the zoo for a night.
And so are there locks on the zippers of the...
Yeah, so it's not quite like a night in the museum, but it's still quite very similar.
Ah, that's wonderful. And what else has been happening at the zoo activity-wise?
Obviously, with school holidays, we have all our animal encounters like the snake handling, the lizard encounters, the ferrets, which are very common, and whatnot. And our hours are actually longer than they are during normal hours. So instead of being 10 till 4, they're 9 till 5. So you've got those extra 2 hours of a day to spend at the zoo.
Excellent. And Rena, you mentioned earlier exposure, like for people that might be a little bit frightened of particular animals.
Yeah.
Have you had any experiences so far where you've really, kind of connected with a child or with an adult and they've been quite, I don't know, maybe nervous at first? And
So we had someone come in the other day and it was like an adult and she was like completely terrified of snakes, and it was like the perfect time, and as soon as she walked in we had an encounter with a snake. It was like someone stood there with the snake and she kind of, she was fine. Like she kind of just got over it, and there's been like a few stories like that, so it's really nice how the keepers really know their stuff, they educate, and it's nice how hands-on it is, because especially like where I come from, like Europe, we don't have like kangaroos, we don't have these like wild animals like just accessible, so interesting how you can be so hands-on and really get to know them.
that's excellent, and it's so great. Just leaning back on what you said earlier, Ranger Red, that WA may be a different level of tourism at the moment. Rena, coming to WA was a bit different to the usual backpacking route, wasn't it?
Yeah, so the usual backpacking route, you usually just stay on the East Coast, and it's interesting because you have to do your regional work somewhere, and mainly people do stay on the East Coast. I feel like the West is mainly forgotten about, but I think it's such a great thing to come over here and see a different side to Australia, and yeah, I don't regret it at all.
And do you have a favourite animal that
My
you dare
favourite
to say?
At the zoo, I feel like it's the dingoes. They're great because I went to Fraser Island and saw them there, and seeing like the difference of these guys, it's great to see them up close and really get to know them.
Yeah, beautiful. And so Dingo Stole My Baby?
I've heard about that. Yeah. Also, someone tried to tell me that Ryder was a drop bear as well. Oh, the first week. I was like, interesting. But, yeah.
What else have you learnt at the zoo? So, Ranger Red, what else is coming up for you? The Royal Show's been a busy time.
And it was, and I caught up with one of Fred's friends from 6PR, Ollie, and we talked about phobias, and we discussed Fred's phobias and how I've tried to help him overcome it with our tawny frog mouth.
Yeah, it's not be the last time you appear on 6PR, I believe. It's just so busy. Has he told you about the lovely animal he brought in, and it didn't fly, but it did? What was that
The
called?
tawny frog mouth that you're talking about.
If you get time, run away from it.
Yeah.
I do have a funny story though. So Rena's looked after Bernice while I was away, and the day she came down the show, half an hour before she came down to the show, I had this lady come up to me. She's like, Ranger Red, I've got a complaint to make. And I think, what's happened at the zoo? She said the lady who's looking after Bernice, when she walked her down the street the other day, she stopped before she got to my house. Doesn't
Is
she know?
Bernice a child or animal?
No, the Saint Bernard that I've had in the studio before.
Checking.
So, it's my human child, but so it just shows how much of a small world WA is. But I think I want to work really hard at getting WA tourism out there and saying, hey, guys, why go to Sydney, Melbourne when you can come see me?
Excellent. Well, Ranger Red, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, and Rena as well. I'm sure we'll see you again over the months. And I hope to also have something entertaining, hear about a show or something. Alexander Sacosta, our own Alexander Sacosta, might come down and do a show with you. I hear he's been very entertaining at the zoo.
Yeah.
Ranger Red, where do we find out more about the zoo?
You can go onto our website, which is www.redredzoo.com.au.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ranger Red. Thank you, Rena, and we'll look forward to seeing you again. Now, if you missed anything, of course, you can go to thecouch.com.au or our Facebook page. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you very much. Please support Red Zoo. It's an independent zoo. It relies on basically their own funding. There's not very much government funding, but hopefully that will change very soon. They do a great job. Call in, say hello to Red and all the team. They work hard at a wonderful, wonderful zoo. And take the kids on the school holidays. You'll love it. We're going to take a little music break. We've got Bailey Perry. She's 17 years old. She's singing an original song. Centre stage. Here she is. Love Song.
Tell me, love song, tell me why every song I hear's a love song, and where's the realism in rom-coms, I just don't get it. And why does TV always make finding love so easy? Showing the perfect match, we always find each other. Why is flying solo such a crime? They make our dating as a waste of time. If it was like the movies, why haven't I found the one? Running in circles, seeming so desperate, adding almost every guy on the internet. Why do I need to be dependent on someone else? Tell me why every song I hear's a love song, and where's the realism in rom-coms, I just don't get it. And why does TV always make finding love so easy? Showing the perfect match, we'll always find each other. Maybe I hate them and I'll learn to love them. Maybe they own an entire kingdom. I might have to teach them how to be good, or they may not even be human. Maybe they've written a song about me, talking about how we'll live happily. Or am I just dreaming? Tell me why every song I hear's a love song, and where's the realism in rom-coms, I just don't get it. And why does TV always make finding love so easy? Showing the perfect match, we'll always find each other. Tell me why every song I hear's a love song, and where's the realism in rom-coms, I just don't get it. And why does TV always make finding love so easy? Showing the perfect match, we'll always find each other. Tell me. Love song.
17-year-old Bailey Perry, and that is an original song. She'll be back at the end of the show with another one if we don't go overtime, of course. Thank you very much, Bailey. Wonderful singing. Somebody else that's wonderful is Nisha. She's back in the studio. She's talking to Matt from Made on the left. Christmas markets that are coming up very soon. We'll give you all the details. Over to you, Nisha.
Thank you so much, Fred. That was so heartwarming. Welcome to the couch, Matt.
Thank you very much, Nisha.
Now, Made on the Left Christmas Market is in its 15th year. This is very exciting, coming up on October 28th and 29th. Tell us about the market.
It's a fantastic opportunity to come down and see some of the best creative handmade wares the WA has to offer. We've got a range of sellers, from candle makers, the jewellery, the skincare that you normally get at markets, but some of the things you may not normally see, a lot of the woodworking creatives, as well as your soaps. But there's some amazing stuff that people, handmade dresses and bags.
Oh, fantastic. Some
like
originals as well, hey? So Fred's going to be holding up during the course of this segment some great artwork as well.
Oh, we've got some fantastic art. Illustrators and artists among us. And or as you can see, Fred had just then picture from one of our artists, Mai, who has also done a lot of our promotional artwork. We've used her as well, which has been great. There's from Michelle, one of our other artists. So a wide variety of handmade stuff. It's all designed and manufactured here in WA, either by the artists themselves.
So made on the left, which is something I had to ask you earlier.
Yeah, made on the left. So it's literally the left-hand side of Australia, meaning WA. It's all WA artists, WA creative, or made here in WA to support the local community.
Why is that so important? I mean, beyond supporting the local community, how wonderful are we here in Western Australia?
Oh, we're amazing. some of the things that come out of here from the handmade scene is just amazing. You can't find it anywhere else. With the passion, the inspiration along the coastlines, the native animals that a lot of our artists bring into their artwork and their creations, it's just simply amazing.
And it's a well-curated affair, isn't it? You have an application process. You're making sure you haven't got 20 candle makers. If you do come for a gift buying experience, you're likely to find something quite special.
Some very unique, as I said. Being curated, we don't want half the market be jewellery and candles. We want that variety, so people coming down can find that unique item either for themselves or for a loved one, particularly for Christmas, in the lead up to Christmas, where they're kicking off the Christmas shopping, but also to give the vendors a good time as well, so that they're not competing with 20 other candle makers as well.
Now, you're doing a great job, Matt, because your wife is heavily involved in this market and you're representing her today. Is that right?
Yeah. So she's a creative herself. She does some amazing handmade jewellery, some very beautiful pieces. I'm not saying that the other vendors don't do amazing work as well, but about 7 years ago she got involved with the committee for Made on the Left. About 12 months after that, she dragged me in for some support. So amongst a few other volunteers as well, we've been running the show for about 6 or 7 years. And trying to make it as best as we can for the people of Perth.
And that's the amazing thing, everyone. This is a not-for-profit organisation, fully run by volunteers. You've been doing this now for 15 years, and it's in sunny Fremantle, hopefully, October 28 and 29.
Fingers crossed for a lovely weekend, yes.
And there's food there too, so it's not just a few stalls. Tell us about the scale of the event.
So we've got about 120 independent artists or stalls each day.
Sizable.
It takes up most of the Esplanade Park in Fremantle, but we've also got a number of food vendors as well. So people don't have to worry about going up to the Cappuccino Strip to get something to eat. They can grab some great fresh juices or curry puffs or crepes, things like that, just to fill the stomach, refuel themselves to keep browsing and finding unique gifts.
Fantastic. So we've probably got some people in the audience who are either budding artists or artists already. How do they get involved? When do you start putting that call for applications?
So every year we open up applications early in the year so that we can give people a lot of time to hear about it and to put their applications in. Most of it's either word of mouth or through Facebook groups for stallholders and the local Perth market scene. We'll always advertise it on our Facebook page as well, the Made on the Left Facebook page.
Fantastic. And if we want to go down, what's the process? Is there a website we can go to?
Yeah, so you can find all the details on our Facebook website, facebook.com/Made on the Left, or you search for Made on the Left Christmas Market and it'll take you to that site.
Beautiful.
Runs from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day on the Saturday and Sunday. It's free entry. Pet friendly, kid friendly. We've even got some stalls there with pet treats or some cute little outfits for the pups.
Excellent.
Very family friendly for the whole weekend.
Beautiful. And is there a cost?
No, free entry. Always has been free.
Fantastic.
Just come on down, wander through, and enjoy themselves.
Wonderful. Matt, you've done a great job promoting, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having
and
me
we'll
down.
look forward to seeing you maybe next year as well, or hearing about how it all went.
Well, I hope to see you in October.
Oh, yes, I will be there. That'll make me buy my Christmas presents. If you've missed any of that, of course, you can go to thecouch.com.au or our Facebook page. But for now, it's back to you, Fred.
Good on you, Nisha, and thank you to Matt for coming in. I reckon, Matt, you should run one up near my house in the Swan Valley there, maybe in July, and then do one at October. Christmas in July in the Valley. Please support Made on the Left to Christmas markets. They're doing a great job. All local people, volunteers. It's not about money, it's about promoting local artists and local people as well. And thank you to Matt for coming in. And thanks, Nisha. We'll take a break. Talking local entertainment. Alexander Sakostas coming in next. See you then. Welcome back to the couch. Thank you for your company, and let's welcome once again Wide Bay ITV Television in Queensland, all around Queensland. Thank you very much for joining us, as well as all our friends in Adelaide on C44 and C31 in Melbourne, and of course all our friends on Foxtel. Only on Foxtel are we national as well. Thank you very much. And all those people who watch us on Facebook and YouTube as well, we really do appreciate it. If you want to be a guest on the couch, or you want to be a performer, you want to be quick, get in contact, check out our website, thecouch.com.au, and we'd love you to write to us. And we invite local businesses, local partners, if you want to sponsor the couch and get involved. We'd love to have you there too as well. Just like this man, thank you very much to Alexander Sacosta for coming in, talking entertainment as always.
I love it, Fred. I'm obsessed with
Now,
entertainment.
you've been spending a whole week at the Raw Show,
I
haven't you?
have. Oh my gosh, the Raw Show this year. The fireworks, incredible.
Tell me,
So
do they
good.
still have a media office where you get snacks and food and drinks, or has that all been cut back?
I didn't. If there is one, I wasn't privy to
Oh,
it.
it's
So
gone.
maybe it's somewhere else.
Oh, the good old days.
The good old days when there were. No, unfortunately not. Bring your own snacks, but there was some delicious food there as well.
Oh, I know,
so
I know.
many
But you
things.
know what? Have you noticed how expensive the food is at the Raw Show?
Inflation has hit everywhere.
Pizza,
hasn't it?
$25 that you can normally get at Domino's for about $8. No, it's just crazy. Inflation, gouging. Look, I love the Raw Show. I think it does a great job, but geez, it's expensive.
It is. It's a hard time for everyone.
Now, tell me about a hard time. Harry Potter is in the news today.
This is sad because
Yep.
the actor Michael Gambon, who played
Passed
Dumbledore,
away.
the second person after Richard Harris, did pass away. There he is there. Sir Michael Gambon, excuse me. So he was 82 years old, passed away peacefully, wasn't through any kind of illness. But just sad because we've lost another Harry Potter actor. We lost Alan Rickman, we lost Robbie Coltrane,
Yep.
so we've lost Professor Snape, we've lost Hagrid, and now we've lost Dumbledore.
And
So
I would take that from that. You know them all off by heart, so you're a Harry Potter fan.
I'm a big Harry Potter fan.
Well done,
I was
well-
sorted into Ravenclaw, if anyone wants to know.
Thank you very much. Hollywood writers and studios reach a tentative deal. So does this mean it's over?
Well, hopefully. 146 days they've been picketing, and they've reached a tentative deal, so it's not been confirmed, so a lot of the terms have been set. We haven't been made privy to what those terms are, but hopefully, if they have matched what everyone was looking for, they can resume filming, because all the shows were put on hold, and all the movies...
That's a good thing. Now they're coming back, are they?
Well, hopefully once this gets put through, so it hasn't been confirmed, because the union basically has to vote.
there
So-
you go, Channel 10, all your shows are coming back. No, look, it is terrible that all of these people are out of work at the moment.
Very
I'm assuming
hard.
there'll probably be back pay and their payroll.
I hope so, because that's a long time to go without any kind of work, especially in the creative arts industry. It's not exactly
And it affects
lucrative
everybody
money.
in America. So I know there was I can't remember her name. She does a talk show.
Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
just put hers on hold. Didn't want to offend anybody.
Yeah, but she came back for like 2 episodes
Correct.
without her writers, which
That's
is a very
right.
interesting move. And then she got a lot of backlash for that.
And she-
Because really, if you're in the union, you need to stand with the union.
So good news that they.
So good news, hopefully,
could be
we'll
back.
have movies back in production very soon. Get
Oh,
excited.
Russell Brand! I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be him at the moment.
Difficult time. A lot of misinformation, a lot of information, a lot of
Yeah.
accusations.
Look, people ask me all the time, what do you think about this whole story? My argument is always someone is innocent
Until
proven guilty. It's
Proper due
too
process.
easy for people to be accused and attacked without evidence.
Yes.
And I'm not saying if he did all these things, he'll suffer, live by the sword
consequences.
and the consequences. But I get a bit worried that all these accusations and rumours are put out there the reputation and the career of these people is destroyed, and then it
Yes.
comes back and says, "Oh, there was no evidence,"
Yeah.
and it's not fair. Craig
No.
McLaughlin went through it.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Rush went through it. There was a
Yes.
whole Rebel Wilson went through it.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah. And Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
And how many? I mean, I'm not saying that there's
No.
no base to these arguments.
No, it has to be a
but
case-by-case basis.
People need to go to the police if there's an issue. But
Yeah,
he's
proper
been
process. And I think that's why the internet, as wonderful as all the things the internet does do, it is also an instrument that is,
What's the rumor about him being a victim of a conspiracy?
Well, I think he's saying that because he's got such a popular YouTube channel now, that it's the mainstream media
all
trying to
puppy.
get rid of him because he has
Could be
influence.
telling the truth.
Which, I mean, it's a narrative that his followers definitely
Well, he's very
can subscribe
passionate.
to.
And you know his previous partner, is it Katy Perry?
Yes.
She came out and defended him and saying he's not that type of person.
Hmm.
But who do you believe?
That's the question, Fred. Who do you believe? You can find someone to agree with your opinion on the internet. So
Very true.
It's very interesting
And
times,
is he
and
still
I'm sure
doing his show on the internet? That's
he
been
is,
taken
but they
off.
demonetized him on YouTube, so
he
he no longer
can't
has
make
money
any money.
coming
Isn't
through.
that
So he's now
sad?
saying to subscribe to his platform on Rumble.
And he's
$9
threatening
a year.
to sue everybody, which is probably a good outcome. And I guess if you were guilty, you'd want to say all those things as well.
Yeah.
So, look, good luck to him. I hope he's not guilty. I hope whatever
Yeah.
happens gets resolved.
For all parties involved,
And
yeah.
all parties get what they need. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, once again. T Swifty, the Tay Swizzle, the T, I don't know any other names. She is now dating this football player, Travis Kelce. And the power of Taylor Swift, she turns up at one of his games, suddenly heaps of people are there, everyone's taking photos of her, his Instagram following just blows up. Taylor Swift has so much influence.
Is that him on the right?
That's him on the right.
Okay.
And so he was speaking about it and somewhat confirming it. They had a restaurant closed for them to have a date, as you can when you have, millions of dollars. So this is the latest of their relationship. So
Well, good luck to her. I actually like Taylor Swift.
I do
think
too.
she's a wonderful
I think she
performer.
actually very much is someone who's stuck to how she represents
She's
herself.
grounded.
And she is very good, and she does it on her terms. She doesn't let people
yeah.
dictate her
She
narrative.
sort of reminds me of our own Australian Delta Goodrum.
She does.
Does
Yeah.
that mean?
Yeah, I would
you know,
agree with that too.
And
Just
I think
a
I
nice
really like her.
person, and you want to see them succeed. So,
There's
yeah, I
no
like
dirt
Taylor
on
Swift.
her. She's always
No.
playing it clean. She
Yeah.
looks after her fans.
Yeah.
She goes out of her way to do more and more and more.
And do you know what I love? She said as well. She's like, I'm someone who gets excited for stuff, and I like people who get excited for stuff. And I was like, me too. It's cool to get excited for stuff.
Well,
Like,
would you be excited if you were in Chicago?
I would be very excited if
Because
I
I
was in
hear a
Chicago.
rumour it's coming to Perth.
Well, are you offering me a role in it, Fred? Because I'm ready to dance. I'll get my tap shoes.
I think just go in and crash it.
Just crash it up on the stage and just sort of why not? Why
Opening
not?
night.
It is coming to Perth. We're at the Crown Theatre from November 2023, continuing our wonderful musicals that we're having coming to Perth this year.
Mary
So,
Poppins was wonderful.
Mary Poppins was
Absolutely loved
fantastic.
it. This will be amazing. And
I'm
there's
looking forward to this. We're starting, so we're the first city to get this.
Yes.
We've got Zoe Ventura, who some of us might remember from Pack to the Rafters.
Yes.
And also our own Pete Roththorne playing Amos.
Yes, a fantastic achievement for him.
Oh, very exciting.
Do you know, I heard an interview with him the other day on 6PR,
Mm-hmm.
actually, with Tony Mack, and he was saying that he's more of an actor than a comedian.
Yes, and the beauty of that role in Chicago is that you can be an actor who sings as opposed
Which is
to the
amazing.
full-on musical theatre.
And for those people who love Peter Rosethorn, he actually lives here in WA now. He
does.
With his daughter
With his
is a
daughter
comedian.
Frankie, and they're on Amazing Race.
Correct, on Channel 10 in about a week's time.
Yes,
or thereabouts.
looking forward to
Check out
watching
your
that.
local
I
guys.
love that.
So, Chicago?
Chicago, go
Worth
and
a look?
see it. Well, definitely. Especially if
Fantastic.
you're a fan of musicals. But even if you're someone who's, as I've said before, someone who's like, oh, I'm not sure, Chicago's a definite, lots of great songs.
And I can tell you now, Rosie, a good friend of mine, Rosie Stangl, who does marketing here in Perth, there's a couple of other musicals coming as
Fantastic.
well. I
What
think the
else we
Tina Turner one.
Yes, the Tina Turner musical next year. I saw
and
that.
there's one that's got one name, and I can't think of what it is at the moment, but I'll think of it and we'll tell you on the show as we
Perfect.
do
We'll keep
every
you
week.
updated.
But lots of musicals coming up, and
much.
what a wonderful thing it is for WA, keeping
Yeah.
us all employed.
So much. Fantastic to see. And the Crown Theatre is beautiful.
What's hot and what's not?
What's hot, Fred? You know, the thing I loved most about being at the Royal Show is seeing all of those little community groups come together. And I think we forget because there's obviously all the big kind of corporates.
That keep
but to
everything
see
happening.
those community groups and those true volunteers who've been volunteering for, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, I think that's hot.
Well
I think it's
said,
wonderful.
and it is very important. Localism, local
Yeah,
people, local events.
Local stories.
Yep.
Share them, please.
Love it, and
I
we
wanna
all
hear
do it.
them.
We do a lot of local stuff here on the
We
couch,
definitely
and,
do.
and well done too with you at the Royal Show.
Thanks.
And telethon coming up very soon.
On
What are the
21st,
dates?
22nd, come and check it out there at the RAC Arena.
And donate
Starting
as well.
7:30. Absolutely, donate. We've got a big target to beat this year, so
Yep.
definitely,
It will
please.
be
If you've got a spare $1 million, feel free to donate it.
There's your website. What is
Yes,
it?
alexandersacosta.com. Get in contact. Would love
Thank
to
you
hear
very
from
much.
you as well.
Nice to have Alexander Ender, who will be back in a couple of weeks with more entertainment. Thank you again. We're going to take a break. The Bitchin' team is coming up after the break. Stay with us. You're watching The Couch.
Connect with The Couch online through Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright. Baby, I'ma have the best freaking night of my life.
Welcome back. Time for Bitch, and let me introduce the bitches today. We've got Ted Bull on the left, Sharon Atwood in the middle, and Jen Merrigan at the end there in the Chris Ilsley chair. Welcome back to everybody. Ted, you're first.
I'm going to talk about the WACA, not the WACA as we know as the WACA, but the WACA, the Whistleblowers, Activists and Communities Alliance. And I mention this because they're a group of people who are not happy with some of the surveillance in supermarkets.
Yeah.
So this particular member of the WACA took a hammer and whacked the security doors in the checkout part, where you pay for, you do all the work yourself and put someone out of a job. Well, she went and took a hammer to that.
Because she was offended by the cameras.
Well, you could say she was a whacker in two instances, a whacker. But anyway, what I'm getting at, this made me look into surveillance and listen to this. That they're talking about not only facial recognition, iris recognition, gait recognition, voice recognition, and the one I don't understand, that if you're suspect, they shoot you into a fog.
Wow.
So you're in a fog. I don't know how it works because I don't knock stuff off.
Yep. Is this a new thing that we need to get used to? Because it seems this AI and all this surveillance.
Yeah. I think
seems to be the
you can
new
understand
craze.
that $9 billion annually in shoplifting. Mind you, out of interest, Woolworths made $1.6 billion last year and Coles $1.1 billion, although that doesn't justify people knocking stuff
And
off.
let's just say Coles is doing it as well, and people don't like it. They're basically saying they don't like the overhead cameras, etc. But look, you go into a business, they have a right to implement their own security.
Of course, yeah.
If you don't want to go
the
there,
old
go to
saying,
Aldi.
if you're not guilty, what do you have to be guilty of?
And Aldi's always there, and they'll start putting up their prices knowing
But
they've got
do you
more
know
customers.
what? Something they do in Aldi's that's happened to me that I've discovered you can't do, and that is they can't ask to look in your bag.
Yes, and that has happened. There was a lady that went on one of the TV shows. They went through her bag and they quite offended her. And I had her actually on 6PR, and it was a case that happened in Fremantle.
Now,
so you're not allowed to.
No, and this I love this from this is the Coles Chief Operating Officer on a current affairs said this. He said, "If you're a thief, we're going to catch you. Go ahead, make my day." Isn't it so?
Do you? What do you think, Ted? Personally,
What do I think? Look, it doesn't bother me.
Yep.
I have not, as I said, I have nothing to hide. I accept it as part of our world
Cameras are
in which we
everywhere.
live in.
Yep.
Some people say it's Big Brother. Maybe it is. I don't know.
What do
But
you
let's
reckon?
not be sexist about it. Let's call it Big Sister as well.
I think you're right. Sharon Atwood, what do you reckon?
I'm really distressed about the angle.
Would you like to be
it's not my
promoting this
best
sort of
angle. It's got the whole too many chins. It's low. I should be able to adjust it. I think if you're going to video me, but I think it's that whole thing of you think where are you going to use it? What are you going to do with it? Where's it going to end up? There's all
Do you
these
have to
sorts of
sign a
questions.
disclosure before you go into the store now? Or do you just accept if you come into that store, they're going to record you?
It's going to happen. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like where's it going to end up though?
Yeah,
Which
very
really
true.
isn't very clear.
You know those little computerised things that are on the shelves now that tell the store when stock's running low?
Yeah.
Even that is amazing.
Of course. And they claim those blur your face out though.
Exactly. Jen, what do you reckon?
Well, interestingly, the shoplifting since they brought in self-serve checkouts, that's where the shoplifting really increased, and then of course the cost of living crisis, etc. It's increased again. I mean, I've seen loads of reports of people going into supermarkets and walking out with trolleys, and the staff not doing anything about it.
What can they do? They can make a criminal citizen's arrest, but those supermarkets don't want to run the risk of their staff being hurt. And I just have one thing that I have to ask you. All right, what is the most shoplifted item in supermarkets right around the world?
Food, I reckon.
No.
Meat.
No?
Meat?
No, it is food, but what kind of food? This will get you. Cheese!
Cheese, but there you go. And it's probably cheer cheese as well, because it's popular.
we're all
Sharon, what are
cheering.
you talking about today?
Mick Jagger. is all over the news.
Lovely.
He's coming into $500 million shortly.
I hear.
And he has decided that he is not going to share any of it with his children.
Why?
That they don't need it. He wants them to
But
be
they're probably rich
independently,
anyway.
independently set up. But it did bring up a lot of stories, of the past. There are other millionaires, billionaires who don't want to share their wealth with their kids.
Oh, look, that's really
you know.
lovely. But let me tell you, from the bank of mum and dad, us who aren't millionaires certainly
We're
help
doing
our
it
bloody kids
anyway.
out.
Is that a good thing? Jen, what do you reckon? Do you reckon you earned the money,
It's
you
your
spend
money.
it?
You can do whatever you like with it.
Are you guys going to leave a lot of your wealth to your kids? If you had some?
If I had some by then, yeah.
Whatever I have, I leave to my.
So you're still happy to do that? Mick
Absolutely.
J, it amazes me how many wealthy people, it's people like Mr. Murdoch, for example, he's loaded. And of course he's going to give money to his kids, apart from Gina Reinhardt, that won't even give them, their own money.
Oh, families are
But you know
fun, aren't
what?
they?
Isn't it funny when you hear Mick Jagger says his kids aren't going to get anything of the $500 million? I find that I would assume that he's probably helped his kids out for the last 30, 40 years.
But the thing is, Fred, if he won't leave it to them, they can then take, no
They'll
matter
get it
what his
anyway.
will says, they
Take
can
action.
take them to court.
But I think the thing is, they say we've seen evidence in the past of stories where people have lived on their trust fund and had a life with no direction, and they've ended up with drug issues and thief issues and all
I
sorts.
wish I had a trust account. I would
know,
never have issues. I'd be
Unfortunately-
troubled.
There have
need
also
both.
been lots of people who unfortunately didn't have that benefit and,
And
they've
have ended
fallen
up
on
there
hard
anyway.
times too.
Yeah.
Well, now, interesting topic. I think basically each to their own. If you're a millionaire and you're a musician, an artist, an actor, I guess if you don't want to leave it to your kids, it's up to you. But the kids will probably get it anyway if they go
They will.
contest it in the court.
Better than the government.
Exactly. Jen, what's your story?
Okay, I'm talking about travel insurance because there have been lots of reports, particularly about the Western Australian police woman
just come back to
who has had a major fall in Croatia after apparently being 3 times over the alcohol
Now, this
limit.
was a local West Australian police officer.
Yes, and she and her travel insurance would not cover her. There was also a woman in Thailand who's actually passed away about 3 months ago. She fell off a veranda in Thailand. Her travel insurance would not cover her due to alcohol. As well. And I had a quick look back at this because I thought, well, this is a bit scary because, when we're on holidays, we all like to have a few drinks. So where is the limit with your travel insurance? Where can the
is it
travel...
written?
So apparently it's on page 50 of the product
insurance
disclosure
policy.
That we all
statement.
read.
But how many
Yeah,
people
so
would read
I
that?
think you really actually need to start reading and asking questions before you, particularly if you're using a credit card one, because a lot of credit cards offer you free travel insurance. So you really need to check that out. But also, I looked into, back in 2019, there was a couple on their very first overseas trip. They were in their 70s. They were on a cruise in Europe. Now, he fell down the stairs on the boat and his wife got in touch with the travel insurance company. They said, oh, it's all fine. Yes, we'll cover you. Then after they found out he'd had a few drinks at dinner, they wouldn't cover him.
So how many drinks? I mean, what's
Well, exactly.
considered too
So
many?
there's
What's
no
the
specific.
limit?
There's nothing
And how would
specific
they
in.
prove it?
But Jen, you
Well,
do
they take your blood alcohol
That's
level.
what I mean. And do we think collectively, do we all think this is just another reason not to pay people? They've taken out a policy. I mean, I can understand if someone's
Fred,
stupid.
how could you possibly
let's
say
be
that?
honest. If you go to Bali and you intoxicate yourself to the point you can't even walk, and you get on a motorbike and you hurt
And I've
somebody,
seen people do it,
And
Fred.
your
Yeah.
insurance should not cover
Yes.
that. That to me is negligence and also irresponsible and stupid. But if you go out to dinner, like we were saying, and you might have a couple of wines, a beer maybe, and you might trip over because somebody else put water on the floor, will they then say it's because you had too much to drink?
But is it
Well-
something then that they need a different level of cover? Should
Government.
people who don't drink, people who wear helmets on mopeds, people who don't take risks, should they be then funding the people that do
Well,
if they're
you usually
impaired
have to
by
pay
that?
more if you
Yes,
are going on
correct.
boats
And
and,
your
and,
age.
and
Yeah,
mopeds and
absolutely.
things.
If
You
you're
have to pay
going doing
more.
adventure
I
type
think
activities,
Liquorland
But
should
if
bring
you're
out
having a
their
couple
own
of drinks,
insurance of
is
it.
that something extra?
I sort of, because I'm in my 70s, not for long, but I am in my 70s, and I just see it as my responsibility to take care of myself
Yep.
because I don't have that mobility that I once had. I mean, I'm still, okay. I can move around, but I'm really, and I think now,
Yep.
what can happen to me? Watch
Yep.
out for that
Definitely.
possibility of
Absolutely,
drama.
and that's great. But things do go wrong,
correct.
Ted.
Yes.
And
Yeah, that's true, I agree,
You
yeah,
know, things
yeah.
do go wrong, and it'd be pretty terrible if you were when you
Yeah,
were.
I mean, a dog could
agree.
run across in front of me.
Let's just
yeah.
say, because we need to wrap up, let's just say check out your policy, read your policy cover conditions, because you might find that there's a clause there that rules you out of being covered. But look, I think government needs to look at that and say, hang on, this is another loophole. Companies are using it to make money, rip people off, and not
Absolutely.
cover them. Thank you to Jen Merrigan from Have a Go News. Always nice to have you here.
you.
Brand etiquette, of course, Sharon Atwood
Thank you very
and Ted.
Would you like some cheese? I got some on my way here for you.
Thank you, Ted. Is it cheer? That is it for the show today. Thank you to our team here from the Pitcham team. They'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you to you at home. Thank you to Queensland for coming on board on, of course, Wide Bay ITV television. Thank you very much to you at home. We'll see you next week. We'll leave you with Bailey Perry today and a great song she wrote herself, 17-year-old, Hypothetical. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Always seem to struggle finding ways to pass the time. Minutes feel like hours, but days just fly by. I always feel so tired, yet at night can't fall asleep. Never really feel that hungry, yet I just sit and eat. Cause I'm an introverted, extroverted, social anti-social person. I refuse to change cause I'm very stubborn. Can anyone else relate? I always say the stuff I wanna do, but then I don't do it cause it costs too much or I can't be bothered. I always have tasks but I procrastinate, then choose to say it's too much pressure for me. I always seem to think too much into things, and when others do the same I tell them not to. I never seem to take my own advice. I guess that's just a little hypocritical of me. I have a lot of clothes but never have anything to wear. I always try to go shopping, but my account is fully bare. I always say I'll eat healthier, but then I'm at the Macca's window. Feels like a never-ending cycle, and it's a habit I'm fully aware. Cause I'm an introverted, extroverted, social anti-social person. I refuse to change cause I'm very stubborn. Can anyone else relate? I always say the stuff I wanna do, but then I don't do it cause it costs too much or I can't be bothered. I always have tasks but I procrastinate, then choose to say it's too much pressure for me. I always seem to think too much into things, and when others do the same I tell them not to. I never seem to take my own advice. I guess that's just a little hypocritical of me. Now I could easily just change my ways. It only takes approximately 30 days to break a habit. I could listen to my own advice, but let's admit who really does that? Well, it's definitely not me. I always say the stuff I wanna do, but then I don't do it cause it costs too much or I can't be bothered. I always have tasks but I procrastinate, then choose to say it's too much pressure for me. I always seem to think too much into things, and when others do the same I tell them not to. I never seem to take my own advice. I guess that's just a little hypocritical of me.